What's up guys, Until Nick here, and welcome back to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing AM2R Return to Samus. And AM2R stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake. Now, by the title, this is a Metroid 2 remake. And I know that there's going to be a remake for the 3DS, which is called Metroid Samus Returns. But this is a fan-made game called AM2R on the PC or Mac, and it's a really well done fan-made game. And sadly, it did get shut down by Nintendo. I think mainly because they were working on Metroid Samus Returns, but I think they were working on the team that were working on AM2R were probably working on it before Metroid Samus Returns was going to be made on the 3DS. So I think in their defense, they were working on the remake before Nintendo was, so I don't really get why they shut it down, but it's the internet, so you can find it very easily. And I got my hands on it and I started playing it like a week ago. Not a long game. I mean, it's supposed to be a remake of the GBA title Metroid 2 Return to Samus, and I absolutely love that game. And having it remade with kind of zero mission type of graphics, or I guess you could say super mission, depending on I guess which one you like better, but they're basically the same. Zero mission and Super Metroid kind of have the same type of graphics, but they're still really good looking. And yeah, the team did a really good job. They did a good job on the graphics, the enemy design, the map layouts, and this isn't just a remake. There also are some new things, just like in the upcoming Metroid Samus Returns. And you kind of have the same mechanics as Super Metroid, where in this game you can get like the wall jump. You can do that. You can get power bombs, which I'm pretty sure weren't in Metroid 2. You can get super missiles, which I'm pretty sure aren't in Metroid 2 also. And then there's also a bunch of other upgrades that you get later on in the game that aren't in the original. There are also some new boss fights and new mechanics that are actually really cool. There's like one mechanic where you can actually control the enemy. There's like another one where there's like a fast travel mechanic where there's like these tubes that go from world to world. So instead of backtracking, going these great lengths, you just have to go in a tube and it'll bring you straight to a different world. And but you're still on the same planet, but it's different sections of the planet. So the story is basically the same as in Metroid 2, where you're hunting down these Metroids, and Samus is just being her bounty hunter self. And yeah, it really works. I absolutely love the idea and concept in the original game, and I had a blast playing it on the Game Boy, and having it in better graphics and having even more to it just made it a lot better and a great game to pick up. And yeah, like I said, the game is pretty short. I think it took me maybe 3 to 5 hours to beat, which isn't really that long, but I mean, Metroid games really aren't that long, seeing that you can speedrun I think Super Metroid in like 15 to 30 minutes or something like that, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, 2D Metroid games aren't really that long, and the game's a lot shorter because you don't really have to backtrack. You can just go ahead and use those pipes like I said. I think in the entire world you're hunting down these Metroids, and I think there are 99 in total, and I think it shows in the original game it showed 99, and it would go down from there, but in this game it shows how many Metroids are in the area, which I found was pretty useful. And then once you cleared that that area of the Metroids, you would then the lava would flow down, and you would be able to access more of the area, which I thought was pretty cool. It kind of paced the game. So instead of being able to have this open world and being able to do whatever you want, you kind of are forced to fight these Metroids in order to move on, instead of having your abilities. And yeah, Metroid 2, if you don't know, brought a lot of abilities to this game from the original. Like it brought the spider ball, it brought the various suit that we all know and love, the new design of it, because in the NES version it was just a white suit for Samus, but the Game Boy didn't have any color. So yeah, it had that. It also had the, I think, the spacer and the I don't know if it had the wave beam, but I think it had the ice beam. Actually no, I think the ice beam was an original, but I really do like the Metroid 2 better than the original, to be honest. Because unlike in Metroid 2, unlike in Metroid 1 where you start off with 30 energy, in this game you start off with 99 and there's no password system, you have save points instead. And I just find it a lot more accessible, I guess, or much more fun. And with AM2R, I actually found this game like a really fun game to 100% complete. Even though I didn't 100% complete it, I did find myself going backtracking and getting all these collectibles because it is a pretty hard game. And some of the later Metroids, like some of the bigger Metroids that you meet towards the end of the game, are pretty hard, and you would need like a lot of energy tanks and constantly have to go back to the save points, which is another thing that I like that they added, which the save points in this game, unlike in the original just where a save point, in this game they actually restore your HP and also your missiles and also your super missiles and power bombs, which I found like it was pretty useful. In the original game you actually had to go find areas or grind for energy or missiles, but in this game you can just get save points because there's actually areas in Metroid 2 where you can fully restore your missiles or your energy, and they were in separate spots, which was kind of annoying. But gladly in this game, it's much more easy to get your energy all the way back and also your missiles, because I know a lot of people don't like having to like stand near pipes and shoot enemies constantly and hope for a missile or a energy ball or whatever it is. So I found that a much improvement. Also the map area, it's kind of like the map in like Zelda Breath of the Wild, where you can actually interact with it and you can set points. So like maybe there's a point where you need like a super missile in order to get to that like area. You could place a marker on your map for that area so that you can actually know to backtrack to there because there's an item there. And talking about items, the item system in this game, or like the items on the map, are shown like they are in not Super Metroid. Actually, I think it wasn't also Super Metroid, but also in Zero Mission, where it would show the little circle as an item that hasn't been collected, and then it'll show a little dot for the items that you have collected. Another thing I like to mention is the bosses in this game. So unlike in Metroid 2, there was just the Metroids that you hunt down and basically kill, and they get stronger as you move on, as you get stronger too. And those were really the only fights and bosses, I guess you could say. So I guess there was 99 bosses, but most of them were the same, but with different areas, or some of them would be a bit more harder. And then you'd have the final boss, which was the Mother Metroid. And but in this game, there's actually quite a bit more boss fights. Some of them are optional, others are required. Like there's some, there's like one Chozo boss which shoots like fire and also like lightning beams, and it's like hovering like above you, and you have to shoot it down. Also like a defense, there's like a defense ball, which is like a security system, I guess, that was hunting you down and had like walls that were protecting it, like its inner core, and you had to destroy the walls first, and then you had to destroy its core in order to defeat it. There's also like a boss that was similar to the first boss in Metroid Fusion, which it was a little armadillo guy that you have to shoot down, and then there's like spikes on the side, which is it's actually not a required boss, but you need to beat it in order to get, I think, an energy tank, or I think it's a charge beam. I forget which one it was, but it's one of the two. And in order to do damage to it, you have to hurt it enough in order for it to roll into an armadillo, or like into a ball, and then you had to bomb it in order to push it up because there were spikes on the walls on the side, and so you had to bomb near it in order for it to move up, kind of like how you are in your morph ball, but you had to bomb him up in order to hit the spikes on the side of the walls, and then you lose the spikes every time he gets hit, and you have to hit him 3 times, so it gets harder as like the 3rd time you have to hit him because the spikes are all the way up at the top, and you have to bomb him several times, and also have to the spikes there's only like 2 on the top, so it's a lot harder, and I really do like that. Like the bosses in this game, were only Metroids, like I said, so it's I guess a breath of fresh air and having something new for the game, which felt like was pretty cool. There are also some segments that, like I said, had these really cool like mechanics. Like there's one where you're in like a tube or something, and you have to like bomb yourself in order to get to the other one, but like you have to time it because like you're in a morph ball and you're like spinning around on this like air conditioner or whatever. I don't even know what it was, but you have to bomb yourself, like time it perfectly in order to move to the next area, or like the next area or segment. I don't even know what it's called, but yeah, I found that was pretty cool. There are also a couple others, but don't really remember what they were. I mean, like I said, the other ones were being able to control the enemy in order to let Samus move by, because like the enemy would be above you, and you would have to move him and do some actions and destroy like some walls in order for Samus to access the area that the enemy was able to access, and then you would be able to move on, which I felt like was pretty cool. And then I guess I'll talk about the final boss. So the final boss, like I said, Mother Metroid, just like in the first game, but there's a bit more to it. Instead of just like shooting missiles at her and dodging her attacks, she would constantly like move towards you, so you would do like a good amount of damage, and then like once you did that, I guess she would activate phase 2 or phase 3, where she would get a little bit more tougher, but as she did so, she would move towards you, and you would have to like run away from her in order to get enough space, and then you would be able to you would then go ahead and attack her again, and then finish her off just like in the first game. You would go into your morph ball and bomb her from the inside, which was also, I think, in what was the game? Other M, which I feel like it looked much cooler in Other M, but in this game it does look cooler than in Metroid 2, where in this game Samus actually pries her mouth open and has her blaster ready, but notices that she can't really do anything, and then curls into a ball and just bombs her. And yeah, just like in this game, then you get the baby Metroid, and the events of Super Metroid then take place. So yeah, I mean, other than that, it's a great fan game. I highly recommend it, especially if you want to get into Metroid before Metroid Samus Returns gets on the 3DS, which is September 20 something. I forget the exact date, but yeah, if you haven't heard of Metroid, and because it's been dead for quite a bit, this is a great game to start, I guess, and to just play. It's really fun and addicting, and I couldn't really put it down for that long. It was actually a really fun experience, and I absolutely loved Metroid 2. So if you are looking into Metroid, like I said, just take a look at this game. It's really awesome, and hopefully other fan games will be just as good, and hopefully I don't get shut down by Nintendo like the upcoming Mother 4. But yeah, other than that though, it's a great game. Highly recommend it, and you can obviously find it on the internet pretty easily. Just search it up, and there's like download codes, even though I think the official website got shut down from Nintendo, but other than that, you can definitely find it very easily. I'll put a link in the description if you need help. Just comment. But yeah, so if I had to rank it, it'd probably be like probably an 8 out of 10 or 8.5. So yeah, that's my review on AM2R. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews right here on Nick. Bye.